Scientists fired from Winnipeg disease lab intentionally worked to benefit China. This is the Great White North Report.
I'm in love with the system, never going home. I'm in love.
So it finally comes out. Something I've known since 2019. I've done enough videos on this, where two scientists who were escorted from a Winnipeg lab, our only level 4 microbiology lab in Winnipeg, they were escorted out under mysterious circumstances by the Canadian Security Services, the RCMP and that, without any real explanation why. And it's taken 4.5 years to finally get to the bottom of it, or for documents to finally be released, because they could have been impacted public safety. Bullshit. It's total nonsense on the part of the government. So one of the scientists, Dr. Xiangguo Qiu, intentionally shared scientific information with China, potentially putting people's health in jeopardy, says an assessment by the Canadian Security Intelligence Service, CSIS. No die. She's a top level scientist in her field. She had high level security clearance working in our level 4 microbiology lab. She brought students of hers from China over to Winnipeg to see how to run a microbiology lab, which coincidentally is the one in Wuhan. So go figure there. So a microbiology lab is equipped to deal with the most serious and deadly human and animal diseases. Hence, the coronavirus was one of them. We don't deal with it in Canada, but they did in China. There's one scientist called the Bat Lady who looks into that stuff, who happens to work in Wuhan. So the couple were marched out of the facility in July 2019. I did a video on that back in 2019, and were stripped of their security clearances. Their dismissals were announced in January 2021, triggering concerns about Chinese espionage, leading to a heated demands in Parliament for more information. First of all, I would like to know, where are they now? Why aren't they in jail? Why have they been arrested? Why didn't we use them as chips in the Kovrig Spavor Magna Merciless debacle? Now, CSIS conducted multiple security screenings of the couple, and the service had a more rosy initial assessment of Qiu's motivation, noting in the spring of 2020 that she could be susceptible based on the belief in the power of science to help humanity. But their concerns deepened. A few months later, they wrote was using the level 4 lab in Canada as a base to assist China to improve its capability to fight highly pathogenic pathogens and achieve brilliant results. She was part of the 100 Talents campaign. China was hiring so much talent abroad to help further their own industry. Qiu provided Beijing with the Ebola genetic sequence, which opened the door of convenience for China. She's associated with multiple talent programs administered and funded by various Chinese entities. She probably is a Chinese Communist Party member. Anybody that's highly respective in the military, Chinese government, and Chinese scientific branches would be in this CCP. Program set up to boost China's national technological capabilities may pose a serious threat to research institutions, including government research facilities, by incentivizing economic espionage, theft of intellectual property. So in early January 2021, CSIS's security screening program issued a dire warning about Qiu's trustworthiness and her close and clandestine relationship with a variety of entities of the PRC, which is known security threat to Canada. This was at the height of the Magna Merciless, and we should have kept Dr. Qiu and her husband behind bars, but we don't know where they are. They were let off the hook by Trudeau, who likes to appease China. Trudeau is a terrible politician. He's a great campaigner. He loves to be on the campaign trail where people can adore him and cheer him on and boost his ego. But to put him at the head of the government when he had no prior experience other than his name was stupidity. Service also called out her reckless judgment regarding decisions that could have impacted public safety and interests of Canada. So she was so wrapped up in her research, she didn't care about the consequences, which probably happened in Wuhan, because she helped set up that lab. She developed deep cooperative relationships with a variety of people in the Republic of China, institutions, and intentionally transferred scientific knowledge and materials to China in order to benefit the PRC government and herself without regard for the implications to her employer or to Canada's interest. Meaning, she was never going to be Canadian, she would always give in to the Chinese interest. She was a CCP puppet. She took their money, did what they wanted, and she traveled back and forth to Wuhan. It's common knowledge. And during her interview, she repeatedly lied when confronted about her association with China. How can you do that when she's bringing over her students from Wuhan over to Canada to check out our lab and see how it's run? They set up a lab and used us to help. She also played dumb, and she tried to pass herself off as a Canadian. I don't know if she's still in Canada or not. If she is, she should be behind bars. Both her and her husband. She consistently asserted that she had very limited knowledge of the institutional mandates despite an abundance of evidence that she was actually working with or for them. So her character is dishonest, reckless judgment, and lack of respect for accepted rules and norms. So the intelligence report said that she was reinstated at the lab or allowed to retain a security clearance to handle sensitive biological agents. Canada's national security and health of individuals may be put in jeopardy. Because they were eminent scientists whose research and work was well known, they were leaders in their field and some of the brightest scientists that were known. Where are they now? Remember, this happened during the Meng the Merciless and Kovrig-Spavor period, that this was going on. Trudeau hid this or kept it under the rug, the security documents. Had we known this sooner, we could have used that as a bargaining chip against the Chinese Communist Party. So Poilievre, he called it the case of massive national security failure by Trudeau and his Liberal government. They wouldn't let it out in the open. It's a massive scandal. It's a political blunder. So Poilievre accused Trudeau of covering up the lapses of the high security lab, and Trudeau deflected criticism, accusing Poilievre of weaponizing national security. No, Trudeau is just so lapsadaisical in his approach to things. Trudeau couldn't care less what happens to Canada, really. He's already done enough damage to this country in a lot more ways than that we're going to pay for down the road. He doesn't care. He's got a multi-million-dollar trust fund from a rich grandfather, plus everything is his father's legacy, all that money there, and he will get a nice pension and will be able to write books and so forth and go on tours. He will get paid well. So it took years for us to get this access to these government documents. Poilievre again accused Trudeau of allowing China to infiltrate Canada and covering it up by delaying the release of documents. Again, this goes back to the foreign interference question that's been going on and that we're still in the dark about. Poilievre repeated claims that China backed the re-election of a Liberal minority government in 2021. That wouldn't surprise me. The CCP would back candidates it thinks it will serve its best interest with foreign donations, because a public inquiry will resume next month to investigate that interference in Canada's past two federal elections. Will this be part of that? Probably. But like I said, I would love to know where these two doctors are. Where Dr. Qiu is. Is she still in Canada? Or has she fled back to China? Should she not be arrested and put on trial? Or are they keeping her in a safe place and pumping her for more information? Why wasn't she used as a bargaining chip to free Kovrig and Spavor a lot sooner? And any other Canadians that are currently in prison? This could have been a great bargaining chip. And that worries me that Trudeau will not give his balls a tug and man up when it comes to international politics, especially against a bully like the CCP. Any Canadians out there, let me know what you guys think of this, these new revelations about the scientists fired from the Winnipeg lab. And leave comments in the comment section. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Until next time, this has been the Great White North Report.
I'm in love with the system, never going home. I'm in love